Welcome back to the baddest YouTube channel in the land. This is Rod OG, straight from the OG community. How we doing today, fam? Well, I'm glad everyone is doing well, but I'm back with another banger. This one here is about what we have going on in Iran and why are we sticking our noses in other people's business. But before we get into this video, let's make sure that everybody coming through that's watching with the OG community joins the OG community. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and let's make sure, family, that we hyping these videos up. This is gonna allow us to push these videos through the algorithm and reach the masses. Come on, community, you know we can do this. Let's make sure we get these videos to 5,000 likes, and let's try to get this up to 10,000 subscribers. Now, without much ado, let's get into it.
We're not falling for it, Kamala. We're not falling for it, Joe Biden. This is not 2008 and you're not George Bush. You're not gonna be able to convince us that the Middle East has all these weapons and are so dangerous and they want to assassinate Trump. We're not falling for that.
Iran is a destabilizing, dangerous force in the Middle East, and today's attack on Israel only further demonstrates that fact. Earlier today, I was in the Situation Room with President Biden and our national security team.
I'm not gonna get too deep into this because I want to be able to continue to spread awareness on this account. I want everybody to keep their eyes open and pay attention to the verbiage, pay attention to the propaganda, pay attention to the stories that they're trying to push to the world. Because this is no different than what they did with 9/11, than what they did with 2008, than what they did with Iraq. It's the same thing. I hate to say it, but we are not the people from 2008. 2024, we are different people. We are awake. We are ascending. We see through the propaganda. Y'all not going to be able to sell us on World War III. We're awake.
A growing number of reports are indicating that the mission to rescue the downed U.S. pilot in Iran may have been a deception or cover, while the U.S. tried to establish a forward operating base to steal Iran's enriched uranium. And Iran state media has posted a new AI Lego-themed video corroborating these reports. Now, we were told by our government that the mission was to rescue a U.S. pilot who was shot down. Yet we still don't know their name, or if they have a family here at home, or at least what base were they stationed out of. However, this new Lego video from the Iran state media, it offers a different version of the story, and honestly, this version makes much more sense. Now keep in mind, both sides are lying and there are no good guys here, but we really need to see this video and take it into consideration. So before I play the video, please don't forget to follow the InfoDrip Network, and here's that video.
Yeah. They said it was a rescue, but it was a heist. Uranium heist, uranium heist. Tried to steal our uranium in the dead of night. Commandos, Rangers, Black Hawks in the fight failed miserably, just like Tabas, right? They flew deep into ice for hunt, thought we wouldn't see. Special forces, excavators trying to take our enriched uranium for free. Attacked our defenses, tried to seize the ground, but we lit them up. Now the birds are down. See one tuffy gone, Black Hawks burning in the sand. 600 million wasted on a failed master plan. They called it a rescue, but the world knows the truth. They came for our uranium, that's the real proof. We said it clear, this wasn't random at all. They wanted our nuclear material, that was the goal. Deep into our territory under constant threat, but they got exposed. Now the whole world sees their regret. Felt like Tabas, history repeating again. Superpower embarrassed, losing more than just man. You try to rob us in the middle of the war, now you're running scared. We laugh from afar, sacred defense. Uranium safe. Stop running away, keep your boots on the ground. Yeah.
Looking up to Friday's planned march on the presidential palace.
Then another horse came out, a fine.
Do y'all see the horseman? Out of nowhere, just materialized. This war in Iran, I swear it's about much more than they telling us.
Red one. Its rider was given power to take peace from the earth. and to make people kill each other.
Looks like it's on fire. It looks beautiful. But this is so symbolic to what the Lord has been warning so many in eyes, that the red horse is coming, that war is coming, nuclear war is coming. The second seal is about to get released while many are stuck in false peace.
So you're going to see conquering like you've never seen before. You're going to see the taking of territories like you've never seen before. The things that we criticized Vladimir Putin about just a few short years ago, you're going to see being done here in America, and you're going to see the America expand into several territories that are going to be U.S. territories. So after the first horseman comes, the second horseman is going to quickly follow, which is peace is going to leave. And it's going to be in men's hearts to kill each other. You're going to see civil war. You're going to see civil war like you've never seen before. You're going to see an uprising against these powers. And there's going to be lots of death. Lots of death. Unfortunately, lots of death. But there's more death coming.
In the next 24 hours, the world as we know it will likely change. If you're watching this video right now, I'd like you to reshare it. I want everyone, we need to get this out, because we're living in a time right now that we've never seen before, not just in America, but this is a global crisis that we're getting ready to fall into. It is all pre-planned. It was designed this way. The things that are going on in Cuba, the things that are going on in Iran, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, they're all connected. Every bit of this stuff is connected. The war in Ukraine, Russia, every bit of this is connected. I want you to see this, okay? Because they're not fighting a regular war. What happened in Cuba, that was a test. The power grid failing due to the fact that they didn't have oil and gas, that is a test. And it worked. So now, I want you to look at what's going on in Iran right now and the surrounding areas in the Middle East. Because they're no longer bombing facilities with the military personnel. Now they're targeting oil and gas, petroleum products, liquid natural gas products. And it's not just the Iranians doing it, it's everyone doing it. UAE, Iraq, everybody. They're bombing back and forth, and they're not hitting military targets, they're hitting strategic, economical targets. Oil fields, natural gas facilities. And now Donald Trump has given us this 48-hour cutoff, which ends tonight. He said if you don't open up the Strait of Hormuz, which 30% of our Earth's resources come through the Strait of Hormuz, 30%, 1 in 3. Think about that for a minute. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. He said that in the next 48 hours, if they don't open up the Strait of Hormuz, and they're not going to open it up, they've already said they're not going to, then he's going to bomb their electrical facilities, their power plants, starting with the biggest one first. This is a crisis, an economical crisis on the citizens of the world. And what did they reply with? You do that, we're going to blow up your water facilities. It's back and forth. It's an economical crisis that will send us into a famine, a worldwide famine, and it has been pre-planned and designed for one purpose. One purpose only. These people right now, they are working together in order to drive us into a one world government. This is the Great Reset, which was always just a conspiracy until we see it coming to pass. It's the Great Reset. Open your eyes, folks. This is biblical. Biblical. The only thing we can do right now is trust God, bro. That's it. We fall on our faces in accordance with 2 Chronicles 7:14. We fall on our faces and we plead with God to have mercy on us and save our land. That is our only hope right now. This is not a fear-mongering video. If you do not know Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, now is the time. Today is the day of salvation, because we don't have much time on this earth left. Wake up and open your eyes, folks. We're destroying our Earth's resources, things that we need for farming, things that we need for food and vegetation. Pay attention to what's going on. This is a warning to the world. Please repost this video. I love y'all, man. May God save our world. Preach.
Iran must accept the deal from the US. Otherwise, a hell will fall upon the Persian land. This war must end immediately.
Somehow, some way, it's all connected. Simple explanation, only I'm not seeing it. It's making my head hurt.
Remember this 8 months ago?
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
This is what the Trump admin said last night.
They're probably a week away from having industrial-grade bomb-making material.
Did they lie then, or are they lying now?
Nobody's probably going to see this because I'm shadow banned to hell and back, but somebody in my group chat just asked, what is the deal with this war in Iran? It's not about oil and he's refusing a ceasefire. Then what's really going on? Shit, I forgot my car keys. I'll tell you exactly what's going on, but you might need to put on your tinfoil hat. Our keys, let's get out of here. Truth of this situation is so outrageous that a lot of Americans just can't or won't accept it, which is exactly why the mainstream news is not covering it. Because how can they say this? War in Iran has to do with putting Israel in place to trigger the Armageddon and the second coming of Christ. Yeah, I'm aware how fucking crazy that sounds. Getting into a big theological discussion, basically in the Bible, it says that Israel is supposed to have this certain area of land. It's basically the Middle East. And Tucker Carlson actually asked Mike Huckabee about that on an interview and said, well, you know, according to the Bible, it's this huge, you know, area of land. And Mike Huckabee said, yeah, it'd be fine with me if Israel had that. Lindsey Graham went on to have an interview where he said that this is a holy war. This is a religious war. The article is from Democracy Now! And it talks about the watchdog Military Religious Freedom Foundation and that they have received over 200 complaints from members on all branches of the U.S. military regarding comment. One combat unit commander reportedly said that the war is part of God's divine plan and that President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. It's fucking crazy, right? So imagine ABC, NBC News trying to go on air and say that. They would lose all credibility. I lose credibility every time I fucking say it. Our government is now run by white Christian Zionists. This is why there should be a very big wall between church and state, but yet it's crumbling by the second. And crazy shit like this happens. So share this. This post is kind of long, but follow me for more short news.
If Iran is weaker, why isn't it losing? Everyone keeps saying Iran is getting hit. So then why does it still hit back? You're analyzing the wrong battlefield. This isn't a strong versus weak war. It's centralized versus decentralized power. Most armies are built like this. Kill the leaders leads to system collapses. Iran built the opposite. No center, no single failure point, no clean victory. Even if you destroy command, local units still operate. Proxies still attack. Missiles still launch. That's not strength. That's design. Now look at the cost game. A $10,000 drone forces a $1 million interception. They're not trying to win battles. They're trying to make war too expensive to continue. And then comes the real leverage. 20% of global oil flows near Iran. They don't need a clear victory, just enough disruption to unsettle the system. Oil spikes, markets panic, pressure shifts from battlefield to global economy. So what are you actually seeing? Not dominance, not victory. It survives impact and spreads the pain. And that's much harder to defeat. Because how do you win against something that doesn't need to win?
You're dead.
Me.
Loser. What? That's your battle pet?
Do it!
Attack!
Pay attention and listen, because Iran just posted an unsettling video about the United States. Look.
Yeah. They said it was a rescue, but it was a heist. Uranium heist, uranium heist. Try to steal our uranium in the dead of night. Commandos, Rangers, Black Hawks in the fight failed miserably, just like Tabas, right? They flew deep into ice, thought we wouldn't see. Special forces, excavators trying to take our enriched uranium for free. Attacked our defenses, tried to seize the ground, but we lit them up. Now the birds are down. C-1 Tuffy gone, Black Hawks burning in the sand. 600 million wasted on a failed master plan. They called it a rescue, but the world knows the truth. They came for our uranium. That's the real proof. We said it clear, this wasn't random at all. They wanted our nuclear material, that was the goal. Deep into our territory under constant threat, but they got exposed. Now the whole world sees their regret. Felt like Tabas, history repeating again. Superpower embarrassed, losing more than just man. You try to rob us in the middle of the war, now you're running scared. We laugh from afar, sacred defense. Uranium safe. Stop running away, keep your boots on the ground.
It make a lot of sense, because we always trying to take something from somebody. I mean, just look back to the beginning of history. People always trying to conquer someone to take their valuables. It's crazy. Crazy. And I believe them. Israel may be using us until they position themselves to have enough power to try to overthrow us. These are tactics that's been used in war for thousands of years. That's probably why Trump wants that golden ballroom. Man, we got to get him out of office. We got to find somebody that's fit to run our country, that has the people in mind.
Yeah.
This is not a distraction from the Epstein files. This is the Epstein files. We are living everything that the Epstein files has uncovered. Israel was the parasite of the United States. It was siphoning money. It was siphoning intelligence. It was siphoning nuclear secrets. It was siphoning technology. It siphoned and sucked all of the politicians through blackmail, through greed, through coercion. And so the parasite that was Israel, that was siphoning the lifeblood of the United States, has now become the host and is now reigning supreme over the carcass of the United States. It has surpassed the United States. You even hear U.S. politicians say that themselves.
The wars of the future are being planned here in Israel. Israel is advancing down the road of new weaponry far beyond us, and it would be nice to have a process where we could be partners.
You see this in the slavish way, that European leaders are bowing down to them. You see that in the U.S. ambassador saying that Israel has the right to take over all of the Middle East if it wants to.
Basically, the entire Middle East. It would be fine if they took it all.
Did you see he didn't say the U.S. has the right to do it, which you might assume a U.S. official would say. He said Israel has the right to do it. It is done. Israel's goal is not just to destroy Iran. I want you to pay attention. Israel's best case scenario is that both Iran and the U.S. completely deplete themselves to a devastating point so that Israel emerges supreme over the West. They want to reign supreme over the U.S. and will finally take over West Asia and North Africa, just like it had been planning all along. The Greater Israel Project, the new Middle East. The parasite has now become the host. And may Israel and the U.S. and all of their slaves never see peace for all the injustice that they have wreaked onto this world. God help us all.
Graham talk about how much he enjoys the war in Iran brings to mind some things that Sasha Riley said, including the fact that Lindsey Graham was part of the Epstein circle. But the thing we need to understand, I think, on a much larger scale is that the Epstein class, the billionaires, the super politicians, the corporate leaders who are all part of that circle are the same populations that support the war in Iran. Yes, there's money to be made off arms and munition sales, but here's the part that we really need to pay attention to. That children are being slaughtered, that populations are being driven off the land and killed as they run. For these Epstein-class people, the relentless death and destruction being doled out in Iran right now isn't some side effect or the cost of doing business. It is the thing they enjoy. And you know what? When you listen to Lindsey Graham talk about the war, you can hear that little shiver of pleasure in his voice. These are the people running our country. These are the people with the money. And
everyone's asking, why isn't Iran launching a full-scale attack on Israel? Simple answer: strategy, survival, and global consequences. First, Iran fights through proxies. Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthis in Yemen, militias in Iraq and Syria. Tehran avoids direct war. It bleeds Israel indirectly. Second, Israel has nukes. Iran doesn't. A full war risks national destruction. Third, Iran's economy is fragile. Sanctions, inflation, and protests have Tehran walking a tightrope. It can't afford U.S. airstrikes. And finally, global optics. If Iran strikes first, it loses international support. But if it responds defensively, it gains sympathy and leverage. So Iran plays the long game. Indirect war, public restraint, but heavy shadows. The question isn't, will Iran go all out? It's how long can it afford not to?
Oh, duh. Iran is the seat of the Anunnaki. Oh, duh. I'm watching this documentary right now, and it's explaining the history of Iran. This is an old, 11-year-old YouTube video. And, let me mute it, sorry. Okay. And so he's going through, this guy, he's such a little cutie pie, whoever this guy is doing this documentary. Let me, Rick Steves, that's him. Okay, so this old cutie pie was in Iran, introducing the United States to Iran all these years ago. I think it's 11 years ago. And so he goes into this museum, And he says, at first I was disappointed because they didn't have a lot of stuff. And then they told me that things had been destroyed by foreign invaders that keep coming in there and taking their shit and messing everything up. But the imagery that was in the museum, it's just Anunnaki. I mean, they call it, Mesopotamian, but because that was the region, but the influence is Anunnaki. This was their seat, presumably. So, and we know that the United States apparently had the only weapon that could penetrate the ground deep enough to get to wherever these supplies were. I don't even want to say the word that they say Iran had. No, this feels super duper very much like Anunnaki, like, hey, we're here, like more apparent than normal, like more active than normal, like trying to hide less than. I'm sorry about this. I'm really not sorry. They're very happy and having fun. So when they're happy, I'm happy. But this is access to some Anunnaki tech. Or a location, not something with whatever they're trying to do here at the end before the finish of the reset. Somebody's got some very important game piece, Anunnaki related, and that's what I think all of this is about, because also there's a war.
What she's really trying to say is they want access to what Iran has, and that's a portal. Everybody knows one of the most important portals is in Iran. They want that Stargate. They want control of that Stargate. And once Israel has control of that Stargate, it's game over for the rest of us. And the fact that the U.S. is actively trying to help them gain control of that Stargate is even crazier. Israel has been known to kill Christians, allegedly. The United States is based off of what? Christianity. So why will we be helping them? It sounds to me the powers that be are scared. And you know how it goes. People will join the evil, the dark side, and fear that the dark side is too powerful to the light. And that's what we're doing. But the whole time, we have dark presence running our country, infiltrating, trying to take us further and further from the light. It's a crazy world. They're losing their grip here in the U.S. And you know what their other means are? Before they lose that grip, they'll surrender our country to another country in hopes they can maintain a certain level of power. As long as they're guaranteed, certain factions are guaranteed a level of power where they can maintain a certain status, they will sell out our country for that. Because the minority is becoming the majority. And they're losing their grip. And they can't stand it. They'll rather sell us out than a new day and age being born.
Up in the sky. Y'all know that, right? I mean, come on. There's a whole... Please tell me y'all know that's not normal weather. That's not normal thunder. That's not normal. Airplanes falling out of the sky, helicopters coming to pieces and just falling in pieces from the sky. Philadelphia, oh, that was a medevac jet. Come on. What was that ice coming out of the sky? I mean, y'all seeing the clouds. Y'all see what's going on. It's crazy out here, all right? This is a war up there, and now and then we get caught in the middle of it. Something that we have going on affects whatever it is that they have going on. And this thing with Iran is related to some piece that somebody needs in order to win the game. And I'm using that as a metaphor, but maybe not. It might just be a game. I don't know.
Iran is holding a Stargate that could literally change Earth's future. And nobody's been talking about it until now. This is more than just politics, because Iran sits on Stargate 10, a pre-fall energetic portal once used to anchor eternal life energy into Mother Earth's body. For thousands of years, it's been hijacked by fallen forces who've sent frequencies through it to trap the solar masculine and suppress the divine feminine voice. The people and voices rising up right now, they're not just protesters, they are souls who are awakening. And every single chant is cracking open dormant gateways buried in their DNA and in the land itself. You see, if the Abadan gate reopens and distortion is cleared over Iran, a dormant energy current could flood into Mother Earth's planetary grid, reconnecting Persia to the eternal flame template. This wouldn't just free Iran, it could shift Mother Earth's entire energetic grid. Stargate 10 and the Middle East has been fought over in the invisible world for centuries. It's not just for oil. It's a very valuable piece of real estate, and the time has come to restore it. On January 17, we're going to do a global grid work over this sacred site, reclaiming what was buried. We're not going to just sit here and wait for governments. We're answering a planetary call. If you resonate and you feel called to join, comment webinar and we'll send you a link. Let's open this gate and send eternal life frequencies through the Middle East together. Persia's gate is calling. Eternal flame keepers.
Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good.
Don't we have some sort of space weapon that could initiate that instead of shooting up at it?
We do not. We have 44 land-based interceptor missiles. 44. People have asked me, like, maybe we have a secret arsenal. We do not.
How can you be so sure?
You know, maybe Secretary Panetta is lying to me. I don't think so. We have 44 interceptor missiles. Russia has 1,670 already.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense why we would only have 44 when the adversary's arsenals are so much bigger than 44.
It might have to do with this. When you can look at the numbers and the cost of the program, which I tell you about, the interceptor missiles. The success rate on those interceptor missiles, of which we have 44, is between 40 and 55%. The success rate. And right now, that program is on strategic pause, which is a euphemism for, oh shit. We have like a Iron Dome. You know, we both read the news and we saw what happened when Iran lobbed missiles, including ballistic missiles, at Israel. And they were intercepted. Those are short-range and medium-range missiles. Totally different story than trying to shoot down a long-range ballistic missile, also called a strategic missile. That what I told you about, that 30-minute arc. 500 miles up in space. You're trying to shoot that down. That's where interceptor phase happens.
Hi friends, today I want to talk to you about something unusual, which is the weather. You might remember that I posted a video, I believe on day 11, and I talked about how after the oil reserves were bombed in Tehran, for the couple days after, we had quite a heavy rain and then snow, which is unusual for this time of the year. Today I want to tell you that things have been getting even stranger. Basically for the last 10 days to 2 weeks, we've had almost non-stop rain. Like we might have had just 2 or 3 sunny days. This is already 7 or 8 days into spring. It is very unusual. This is very unusual weather. Now, what makes it even more unusual is that for the last almost 9 months, we've had a severe drought all over Iran, especially in Tehran. Normally, throughout the fall, we get quite a bit of rain in Tehran. But this past year, I think we had maybe just once or twice. We had some snow in winter, but very little rain. To the point that they were talking about rationing, drinking water, and so water has been a main issue. You might have even seen it on news. But then suddenly, the last 2 weeks, we've had very heavy downpours and consistent raining. And on top of that, we've also had really powerful thunderstorms and lightning. Lightning that is so loud and so explosive that because we've been also getting bombed for the last few weeks, essentially you can't tell whether this is the sound of the lightning or if it's the fighter jets and if it's a bombing. For several nights over the past week, I woke up from the sound of lightning, and I waited because it sounds exactly like fighter jets flying very low. It's the same kind of roar, and then you wait for the bomb drop and explosion. Except when it's the lightning, that last part doesn't happen. So I've been getting woken up by the sound and then waiting for the bomb, and then when it doesn't happen, you're like, oh, I guess this is just lightning. Some people say when it's cloudy and it rains like this, the fighter jets can't function as well because the clouds. So essentially, I don't know if this is true or not. Kind of a nice theory going around that the clouds are maybe protecting us. The more religiously inclined people are saying that this is God's blessing, especially because Iran has been in a period of drought for almost the last 10 years. You can see it as a reward for standing up to the most evil and corrupt regimes on this earth. But there's also another theory. This is a theory that has been around essentially as a conspiracy for the last few years, which claims that the American radars that have been situated on the territories of countries in the southern Persian Gulf, especially the UAE, have been engaged in, I guess the term is geoengineering, and what has been referred to as cloud stealing. The idea is that the drought that we've been experiencing is essentially an intentional outcome of what they've been trying to do with the weather. Essentially another form of attack on Iran. So it's not enough that they sanction us, it's not enough that they're bombing us now. They've also been trying to dry up our lands and kill our ability to grow our own food. But tell me why, just as soon as Iran destroys those radars, we're having this incredible non-stop downpour. A friend was saying the other day, it feels like the clouds are angry. The rain feels angry. Now, I don't know if any of this is true or has any kind of ring of validity to it, but you know how a lot of conspiracy theories have been coming true since, especially the Epstein files? This is giving that. It's giving another conspiracy theory has come true. And what I can tell you is that we're not complaining. We're happy to get our rain back.
They know Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. That's the only reason they're comfortable attacking them. Because they know Iran cannot attack back with nuclear weaponry. And they arrogantly thought their Iron Dome was going to protect them. But it literally collapsed within 24 hours. A lot of people may have seen earlier videos where a whole bunch of Iran's weapons were being intercepted by the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome, by the way, actually shoots a missile up to intercept and blow up other missiles. But what they didn't get is that Iran was intentionally sending old missiles to wear out, to use up the defense. And once they felt like they had sufficiently worn down the defenses of the Iron Dome, then they started unleashing the heavy duty stuff. And Iran has hypersonic missiles. And I don't know if you've seen one of those on video. It is insane how fast they come in. You're not getting out of the way of a hypersonic missile. You may be able to see some other type of missile up in the air heading your way. You run for the hills. You're not running from a hypersonic missile. As fast as you see it, it's there. It travels faster than the speed of sound. So it hits you before you even hear it coming. They've also unleashed a new type of weaponry that we've never even seen before. Hey Siri, how many missiles does Iran have? It's gonna be in the thousands. 3,000 ballistic missiles. They're gonna level Israel like a parking lot.
Epstein sold access to the bodies of little boys and little girls to politicians, to corporate leaders, and then he documented the acts that they committed so that foreign intelligence services could gain control over these politicians and corporate leaders in the U.S. And this is the world that the Israeli intelligence services fostered, contributed to, and took advantage of. Donald Trump's 10-year friendship with Epstein means that when Benjamin Netanyahu decided he wanted to attack Iran, Netanyahu didn't ask Donald Trump to join Israel's war against Iran. He ordered Donald Trump to join. Every decision Donald Trump makes about this deeply unpopular war will likely be based on orders from Netanyahu. Do you want to know what kind of nation Israel is? Israel intelligence services engaged Jeffrey Epstein to blackmail powerful people via the rape and murder of small children. And it is not possible that Israel was not intimately aware of each and every savage act, because detailed video and other forms of evidence were exactly the products that they paid Jeffrey Epstein to supply to them. So here's the bottom line. Release the Epstein files, because it is a national security issue. We need to understand exactly who in our federal government, in the Republican Party, in the Democratic Party, have been compromised by the Epstein class and by foreign intelligence services like that of Israel.
So it has finally begun. Missiles, drones, strike, and explosions. But beneath these explosions, there is another battle unfolding. A quieter one, but it is the real cause of this war. Basically, the Middle East is not just a battlefield of armies. It is the heart of global energy, as massive portion of the world's oil flows through this region every single day. The moment tensions rise, oil prices react instantly, and that reaction is the real power. If refineries are threatened, prices jump. If pipelines are targeted, markets shake. Even rumors of disruption can move billions of dollars within hours. Now here's the uncomfortable question. Who actually benefits when oil prices explode? And this is where things get very interesting. You know, the blockade of Strait of Hormuz exposes all oil exporting Gulf countries because their insurance costs rise and tankers hesitate to pass. So who are the real beneficiaries? The answer might throw you off the chair. The two biggest players who gain leverage in such a situation are Russia and United States. Since the war in Ukraine, Russia has been selling oil at discounted rates to countries like China and India, but that discount is tied to global oil prices, and when global prices will surge, even discounted Russian oil will bring in significantly higher revenue, despite all the sanctions on Russia. The second biggest beneficiary is United States. America is already one of the world's biggest oil and gas producers. When oil prices rise, US producers make more money, especially shale companies that can quickly increase output when prices are high. So if instability in the Gulf disrupts oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz, global buyers immediately start looking for safer suppliers, and that's where the United States gains leverage. Unlike the Gulf states, US oil does not pass through Hormuz. It ships from the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. That makes American supply geographically insulated from Middle Eastern choke points. When Gulf exports become risky, US crude becomes more attractive, and this also includes United States' effort to reshape supply chains by influencing Venezuela's oil sector to bring additional barrels in the global market.
Did he invade Iran just to get DHS properly funded? Because right now, with the partial government shutdown happening, Democrats refuse to fund ICE agencies right now. But if we're in a national state of emergency and DHS and Homeland Security is vitally needed because we're at war, could he use the war as a justification for getting the funds released to ICE agents? Because now the ICE agents can work as Homeland Security or DHS on top of their immigration status. It's all a circle and distraction to try to get you to do what he wants you to do. And if you don't do it the easy way, he'll invade a country and start a war and cost you $1 billion a day just to get you to fund the government agencies that he wants in place. Because if ICE agents aren't properly funded, when it comes to the midterm elections, he won't have enough money to keep them working so that they could be working at the polls trying to intimidate individuals that are going there to vote.
A pilot was rescued from behind enemy lines over the weekend in Iran, and the US and Iran are reporting two totally different accounts of what actually happened. A US F-15 fighter jet went down over Iran a few days ago. The pilot ejected and landed inside of enemy territory. The Iranian Guard immediately put a bounty on the pilot's head, starting an immediate race against time to capture them. According to US officials, a rescue operation was launched quickly. American forces were able to locate and extract the pilot before Iranian forces could take him into custody. However, Iranian state media acknowledged the crash, but reporting that the rescue never happened. They claimed that the operation was thwarted by destroying 2 C-130 military transports and a Black Hawk helicopter in the process. They have the crash site to prove it. The Iranian state media accuses the Americans of camouflaging for a broader landing operation, for stabilizing entry routes for troops, basically laying grounds for an invasion. I'm not gonna lie, this makes much more sense because you wouldn't rescue one pilot with 2 huge C-130s. The site of the crash shows a burned helicopter and burned plane wreckage emitting smoke in the desert. There are videos of Iranian villagers showing American beef jerky, toothpaste, sunscreen, parading the American flag, making videos mocking us. Their news stations have shown pictures of skulls and bodies lying next to the wreckage. For what it's worth, Russian state television is reporting the same version of the story. Iranian state TV also calls the Trump administration's version of the story a form of psychological warfare against the American people. Yikes. US accounts emphasize a successful, rapid recovery mission, while the Iranians deny that there was a rescue that happened at all. I honestly don't know who to believe because both sides have incentive to lie, but you can't deny the wreckage video and the silence from the Trump administration over the weekend. What do you guys think? Do you believe?
It's Saturday, April 18th, 2026. All hell is breaking loose. Iran is now attacking major oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. Israel broke the ceasefire yesterday and is bombing thousands of civilian homes in Lebanon and shelling them, despite Trump saying he'd ordered Israel to stop. I'm about to break it all down right now. But it's very important to understand that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the intelligence agencies told Trump before March 1st, Israel was lying to him about Iran about to strike us and that they would fall in 4 days and that regime change was certain. That's all come out. That's all been documented. And then those of us that are loyal to reality and loyal to what Trump run on, we're all called traitors. We're all told we're not MAGA. No, it's Trump that's not MAGA anymore. And I said if he keeps saying we'll destroy an entire civilization in 1 day, well, I thought an entire people, that's the definition of genocide, he'd have to be 25th Amendmented. All the Israeli first spokesperson was saying we need to use nuclear weapons. Trump would say, tune into Levin. He knows what I'm about to do. Levin's saying use nuclear weapons like we did on Japan. That was insane. And I said if he continued, he'd be 25th Amendmented. And then he's now said 28 times, you can look it up, that the war's been won and that Iran's given up. He said yesterday Iran was giving up their uranium, their weapons, everything, that we totally won. But Israel had to not attack them anymore. And then Israel attacked. And now Iran's doubled down, is actually attacking ships. Now, it's threatening to attack ships. And I see the comments all over my X feed and everywhere. Oh, Jones, you're a loser. The strait's open again. We won the war. See, it's all great. It's all wonderful. Totally delusional. Totally insane. Do you understand it's on record that the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Pentagon, and the 16 intelligence agencies told Trump that it was a horrible idea to attack Iran and laid out the scenarios we're now witnessing? That's what I studied. That's what I know. And now we're told we need ground troops, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. I also see the claims out there, and this isn't about me, but to understand the problem, that, oh, Jones and others are mad they didn't have access to Trump, and you know, they're mad that they criticized Trump, and now he kicked them off the Trump train. We're off the Trump train because he got off what he stood for before. Let's just be clear. I don't be at your cool kids table. I want to be far away from this stuff, but I want to put pressure on the administration to be sane. And I want the American people to do that, because that's what we're dealing with here. Is a Trump going against everything he stood for. No prosecutions of the deep state, putting a Democrat lawyer in as the head of the DOJ, worse than even Bill Barr and Jeff Sessions, killing the removal of glyphosate, on and on and on. He did something with Joe Rogan, today, so they can use hallucinogens in medical areas to get people off drugs and also for PTSD. Joe's pushed that for years, so that's a great idea. I still want Trump to do good. I still support him when he does good on policies and good cabinet members. But by sitting back and being a cult member and just saying yes, yes, yes to the neocons, we allow them to fully take control of Trump. There's a battle over this right now. And we're going to lose the midterms. His poll numbers are plunging. That affects the Republicans. These are facts, ladies and gentlemen. This is the reality. And you cannot ignore the fact that the Strait is closed. You cannot ignore the fact that Israel breaks the ceasefires. You cannot ignore that we are almost 2 months into all of this. And it's just getting worse by the day. And I see people say, you attacked him, so then he attacked you. And it's all about, you wouldn't have been attacked if you didn't attack him. I don't give a shit about being cool. I was invited to Mar-a-Lago multiple times last year, years before that. I was invited to the White House by Trump and just didn't follow up on it because I don't want to be around the whole political system. It doesn't do anything to go talk to Trump. He does whatever he wants, but he does see public pressure, and that has an effect on Congress when we pressure on it. So this is not junior high. I don't want to be the class president or something like all you weird remaining weirdo new MAGA people are. I'm not with all the neocons that were never Trumpers. I'm not for all these wars. I'm not for all these changes in Trump. And I see him constantly be made a fool of by Israel, saying the war is won, saying that the Strait of Hormuz is open, saying everything's great when it's not. These are facts. You can go to my X feed. It's just, the Strait's open. You're a fool. We won the war. See, you're an idiot. And every week Trump says this, and people believe it and never remember the last time that he was full of shit. Iran is up against the wall, but it has that choke point. So this is a long, protracted war, already starting to kill the global economy, killing our recovery. The economists are clear. It will boost inflation. It'll raise interest rates, and then his recovery plan is dead. And then we go bankrupt, and BlackRock and the globalists are happy. They used COVID last time to derail Trump's plan, and now they've done this. And I said it'd probably be a war that would do it, like Iran. I want the old Trump back. I want to succeed. I want to beat the globalists. I've been persecuted by the Democrats, but I can't sit here and be immoral and support this type of garbage. That's the facts. Respond to the facts. Trump is literally killing MAGA in live time and attacking the only people that were ever loyal to the original message that we got on board to support. Thank you. Please follow me on X at Real Alex Jones on Rumble at the Alex Jones Show. God bless you all. Big updates and big announcements coming in the next few days on the future of InfoWars. Thank you so much.
Secret government conspiracies. Alright, fellas and fellettes, let's kick this off with something silly. Way back in the late 90s, when my biggest problems were nothing more than navigating the Ocarina of Time water temple and keeping my Neopets from starving, the rest of the world had real problems, like nuclear problems. Big nuclear bomb problems. The biggest players in the nuclear game were Russia and the United States. A small handful of countries had their own too, but they weren't taken too seriously. In order to keep things relatively peaceful, both the US and Russia agreed to minimize their nuclear stockpile and stop irradiating random corners of the globe. Now everyone could sleep soundly knowing that it was far less likely for someone's sweaty little fingy to be hovering over a launch button at any given moment. But what if a less friendly country developed the technology themselves and used it as a last resort to end life as we know it? Your best move would be to proactively prevent that development, or at least severely hinder it. Well, that's exactly what the US tried to do in 1999 when it developed Operation Merlin, a covert CIA operation aimed at sabotaging any possible nuclear weapons development programs in foreign countries, specifically Iran. Why Iran? Simple. They don't like the US, and the US doesn't like them. But what do you expect given the fact that the US overthrew the Iranian government in 1953 because of oil? Fast forward to the 90s, and trade sanctions and terrorism have caused both countries to edge. Sorry, put them on edge. But the Iranian government wasn't dumb. They knew full well that a nuclear warhead or 10 would quickly convert their country into a glass parking lot. So in order to level the playing field as well as any opposing military, they would need to develop their own weapons of mass destruction. So whispers of an Iranian nuclear program began to make their way over to the States. No concrete evidence, of course, just a hunch. But just the fear that Iran would develop its very own shiny nukes and gain a seat at the big kids table was enough motivation to intervene. Hey, nice miss. Don't touch. Which brings us back to Operation Merlin. Now the plan here was to have US nuclear warhead blueprints accidentally make their way into the hands of Iranian officials. These plans, however, were sabotaged, sprinkled with tidbits of completely wrong information designed to mislead Iranian researchers down a rabbit hole of designing inherently flawed weapons. Imagine you were taking a complicated test. With just 5 minutes left, you realize, oh no, there's a back page. Your blood runs cold as your pupils quiver in fear. Your pores pour profound portions of perspiration from pecs to pelvis. Just then, a soft sound licks your wax-impacted eardrum. Psst.
Iran needs our technology in this war, otherwise they have no chance. The US will not stop for anything. I can help you if you accept my conditions.
Dark secrets about the Iran war that the media is not allowed to tell you. Number 1. America's own vice president was against the war before it started. Multiple sources confirm J.D. Vance pushed hard against the attack on Iran. Trump told his inner circle that Vance really doesn't like this. The second most powerful man in the country opposed it before the first bomb dropped. Americans found out through a leak, not an announcement. Number 2. The government had no real exit plan. Senior officials, including the defense secretary, were genuinely surprised by how hard Iran hit back. U.S. allies in Kuwait, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia were all targeted in retaliation. The assumption was Iran would take the hits quietly. American service members paid for that miscalculation with their lives. Number 3. Trump declared victory while Americans were still dying. With bombs still falling, Trump announced the war was very complete and America had already won. Days later, his own administration confirmed the most intense strikes were still ahead. The public was told it was over before it had actually ended. If you watch this far, hit follow for more videos like this.
Did you know a convicted felon has been controlling American wars in the Middle East for over 30 years? Elliot Abrams was found guilty in 1991 for lying to Congress about secret weapons deals during the Iran-Contra scandal. He helped Reagan illegally sell arms and got caught covering it up. But here's the crazy part. He got pardoned and came right back to power under Bush Jr., where he helped plan the Iraq War. Then under Trump, he tried to overthrow Venezuela's government and pushed for attacks on Iran and Syria. This guy moves between government jobs and defense consulting, making money off the wars he helped start. He works closely with Israeli think tanks and keeps pushing the same agenda, no matter which party's in charge. While American soldiers die and taxpayers spend trillions, Abrams profits from endless conflicts. He's been wrong about every major Middle East intervention, yet somehow keeps getting promoted to higher positions. The question is simple. Should convicted criminals who lie to Congress be deciding which countries America invades next?
Thank you for joining me for another banger. OG community, you know I'm here to bring you the hottest and most relevant information on the streets. Now, what do you guys think? Should we have our hands in the business of what Iran has going on? And if so, please leave that in the comments. If not, please leave that in the comments. I respond to everything. So guys, tell me, what really is it that we doing in Iran? Is it off the fact that we want what they have? Are we being bullies? Do we have the wrong people in charge leading our country into darkness? From the light to the dark is where we're traveling. And somebody has to stop it. We have to stop it as a nation. We have to band together. This is getting out of control. What future do our kids have if we keep going down this same road? The future is looking very bleak for our kids because a few greedy individuals who want to hoard and take all of the supplies and money for themselves. They will gladly see everybody else in the darkness as long as they can maintain their lights on forever. It's not about our neighbors anymore. It's not about our community anymore like it used to be. It's all about a few individuals who are greedy, who are evil, and we must stop them. It must be stopped. Us as a nation must stop this. We cannot allow this to continue. So all I'm gonna say is peace and love here in the OG community. I hope we can spread that around the world. But furthermore, we must stand up for our neighbors, and for the future of our kids. Much love, OG community. Until the next time.